chat, Jason. All right, let's shift gears and talk a little Rashan Gary. Now, listen, I felt a little bit like Fredo on the Godfather here. You know what I'm saying? I'm smart. I can do things. I've turned my back on Rashan Gary the last few weeks a little bit. You guys know I am the president of the Rashan Gary fan club. And I had a couple people reach out, one of which I should have had this pulled up, to be honest with you. Somebody reached out to me on Patreon, and we had a little conversation. I won't put it on the screen, but I'll see if I can find it real quick and read it to you guys. Because it was an interesting little conversation. He had just brought up some stuff about Rashan Gary, and it got me thinking, like, okay, I need to dive into this because I've been kind of down on Gary, like he's kind of disappeared the last few weeks, this and that. Now, why do we think that he's disappeared? It's because he's not in the sack column, right?
Yeah.
This is what our buddy Zach in the Patreon group said. I know you're a Rashan Gary supporter. How do you feel about Matt Schneidman's tweet? Unless a big turnaround the rest of the season, if they were to post June 1 him, they would save $40 million. I believe he will be gone. I said, I actually pointed this out going into the season. It's more about roster modeling to me. I basically said Gary could drop off this year or next year, but regardless, it makes sense to have him back in 2025 this year, obviously. But next year, you can free up $10 million in cap space. And again, we can dive into all the contract ramifications and everything for cut and bake with him. It will free up a lot more money in the future. It's just the more recent one there because the dead cap would accelerate to the current year, therefore only freeing up roughly 10 last I checked. With that being said, you have to prepare for the run defense to drop off unless they replace him with the stud. LVN has been nowhere near Gary in run stops. I'm hoping they restructure Gary's deal and bring him back. But if he doesn't want to, you may have to move on. Of course, if this is just a slump, then Gary is going to finish with 10 plus sacks, and Matt Schneidman will get very quiet on his opinion, which we all would, right? Zach comes back and says, I guess the other concerning thing to me is that his snaps are falling off too. Guys, we've heard this every year. This was my point. Every year we talk about he's not getting many snaps, not getting many snaps. Green Bay, they've always had a very, very high snap share. Have they not?
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah, Rashan Gary is not Max Crosby. He's not going to play 99% of snaps in a game.
And he's not Micah Parsons. Like Micah Parsons is getting like 80% of the snaps on Sunday. That's what Micah does. That's never been what Gary's done or anyone else in Green Bay. They bring in Micah. You paying go look at his check. He better play 80% of the snaps, right?
Yeah, right.
So that's just something else to kind of take into consideration there. So he just pointed out the snaps, right? And I said they're not actually falling off. We all have this same conversation every year because the Packers mix and match with guys, right? Like Matt said, playing the hot hand a little bit. If you feel like Enagbari's getting some good reps. Here's the other thing that I feel like when Matt said that the other day that Enagbari earned more snaps, what did we see on the tape with 55? Did we see 55 drop, 55 drop, 55 drop?
Yeah.
Again,
it's not a pass rush thing. It's a pass defense thing, I think.
It's schematically, you go into that matchup and go, you know what? We want to confuse Jameis Winston. Let's give 55 some more snaps and drop him on fire zone blitzes. I think it was more of that, probably a combination of both, to be honest with you, right? That he's playing good football, and although there's no metrics that suggest he's playing that good of football, to be honest with you, not drag Enagbari, it just is what it is, right? I said the Green Bay Packers have 2 pass rushers. As a matter of fact, this is the tweet I put up. I just copied and pasted it for him. So let's throw it up here. I did a deep dive. I was down on Gary, right? And I know a lot of other people are as well, okay? Like Doug says here, I hate the media being so fixed on snap count versus pay. They paid him for how much they use him, but it's a darn long season. Micah is the exception. Completely agree with that comment. Completely agree, right? Wow. So I went to diving into the numbers because, again, you guys have heard me the last couple of weeks, like, yeah, Gary's kind of, I don't know, man. Gary's kind of, fading off a little bit, right? Here's what I came up with, and here's a tweet I put out. The Green Bay Packers have 2 pass rushers ranking top 10 in sacks. Micah Parsons has 8. Rashan Gary has 7.5. All right. Among those 10 NFL players, Rashan Gary ranks 5th in run stops. Okay. So of those players that are in the top 10 in the NFL in sacks, he jumps from 10th to 5th in run stops. But wait, there's more. All right. He has 3 more run stops than Micah Parsons does. Now you're probably thinking, okay, that's not a huge difference, but Micah has 75 more snaps than Rashan Gary. So think of Rashan Gary's run stop rate compared to Micah's. Again, it's why we wanted Gary on the team with Micah. You've got Gary, who's a great run defender and can get after the quarterback's ass when you need him to.
Yep.
But you've got Micah, who's a speed rusher, a demon coming off the edge, getting after the quarterback, but doesn't play the run quite as well. I'm not saying he's a bad run defender. I don't want Hafley coming after me.
They call that the old 1-2 punch, you know? We call that the 1-2 punch.
So imagine if you move on from Rashan Gary next year, and let's say he finishes this year with 10 sacks, which he's on pace to blow that out of the water, right?
He's a grown-ass man now.
And he's also going to have a ton of stops. He's going to lead your team in run stops as well. If you did not have Gary on this defense, that's cool. If that's your argument, if that's your stance, I can respect that. But you can't complain when the run defense dips, and now all of a sudden you don't have those extra sacks that you're getting with Rashan Gary being opposite of Micah Parsons. Again, I'm not saying Rashan Gary is an elite pass rusher. I'm not saying that he's the reason that Micah has success or this defense is going. He's this sole purpose, right? What I am saying is you got a guy who can capitalize when you're not cage rushing. You guys remember 3 weeks ago when I said expect the sacks to slow down because you've got Bryce Young, a mobile quarterback. You've got Jalen Hurts, a mobile quarterback. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be cage rushing and touch spying from time to time to make sure he doesn't run wild. How many times did you see those guys scramble for first downs, right? Maybe one from Bryce Young. I don't even know if Jalen Hurts had one, and you held them to 10 points. So again, man, you can sit here and harp on, oh man, he hasn't had a sack in the last few games. I was doing it too, but I had to check my ego and go, no. Gary's fine. Gary's fine. Again, that doesn't change what may happen in the future if he's not willing to adjust the contract, give a little more guaranteed money, reduce the overall value of the contract to make it a little more palatable. But I want to get your all's take on that because you've seen how I troubleshot this, Emilio. I kind of walked through the process of trying to, okay, am I being too hard on Gary? Am I not being hard enough? How do you see this whole situation?
No, I think you did a great job breaking it down. I think you got to kind of pull the numbers. Obviously, everyone wants to look at sacks. I think you're right. If they both hit double digits, it's going to be a completely different story. Right now, you've got a story because they're not there. You get 1 or 2 against J.J. McCarthy. He's sitting at 9.5, 8.5, whatever it is. I have full faith Rashawn's probably going to break those double digits this year. Same with Micah. I was just pulling up PFF numbers really quickly, but total snap counts, the highest on our team, Xavier McKinney had a 668. So 668 total snaps for X. He's been on the field, I'm pretty sure, for every single snap. Edrin Cooper is actually second with 662. Keyshawn is third at 661. Quay is fourth at 626. Number 5 is Evan Williams at 606. The next closest is Micah Parsons at 509. So 100 snaps less. 100 snaps less, right? The guy below him, Javon Bullard at 476. Who is below him at number 8 would be Rashan Gary at 425.
So to understand exactly what you're saying, Emilio, remove all the safeties. We know they're on college football. What do? You set them, grind it out, right?
Oh, yeah. Yep. You're staying on every play, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way it works. DBs, that's how it goes, right? Linebackers, it typically goes that way too.
Yep.
So when you filter out all the noise and you say just defensive linemen, because we know we like that rotation.
Yes, sir.
Who has the most snaps and then the second most snaps?
That would be Micah Parsons would be first at 509. Second would be Rashan Gary at 425.
Yeah. So they took that information from Sunday and said, the media took it and ran with it and said, whoa, Gary had a low amount of snaps, right? And then Matt comes back and says, well, Enigbare earned snaps. And then we turn on the tape and we see 55 drop. I think it was more schematically. Now, could he be dealing with something behind the scenes? Could it be a fatigue thing? Because Gary's been in the league for a while, even though he's only 27 years old, right? That could be the case too. Tim, it sucks walking that garbage can down to the curb, man. I'm 43. You know what I mean? You get a little older. So,
and here's the other thing we're kind of glossing over. Maybe Matt was right. Maybe Kingsley and Enigbare just earned more snaps, period.
Right. Yep.
Could be. And so the entire thing, they're talking about 84 total snaps as the difference. That's the difference between Rashan and Micah. Are we that mad at it? Rashan snaps by game, 47, 43, 44, 43, 40, 47, 43, 41, 38, 39. What's the problem? Just
Why
because
didn't they say it the last game, right? Why didn't they say it the last game?
Just because he didn't hit, they had less. Yeah, exactly. He had less last game. Just because he didn't hit 40, everyone's mad.
Who cares? Who cares,
Yeah.
right? Gary's production versus snap count way above average, just like it said in the comment right here. Doug 7451 hitting it nail on the head. You're getting 100% balls to the wall every snap. You're getting Bane Gary on the field. Period. Point blank.
Chester in the chat says Gary is just a good, reliable multi-tool. He really is, man.
Yep.
He's that fuel. He's the M12, M18 fuel version. Absolutely.
And you can see the way that Carrington Valentine was responding to him as they were walking off the field together. They call him G, right? That's his nickname, Big G. So he's a leader in that locker room too, man. Like it's just there's and he, other than the ACL, he's always available. Like, am I wrong there? Does it not seem like he's
not at all, especially since the return from the ACL?
Right.
I mean, when has he missed time?
Yep. Professor Cake says 7.5 sacks through 10 games is pretty good. It's 10th best in the league, right? Like, I just don't.
Let's complain about it though.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. When you get a win that's kind of in between, they didn't scrape by the Giants, right? They end up winning by 7 points, and you felt like the Packers were the better team on Sunday, right? Even with losing Josh Jacobs, without your starting center, without Jaden Reed, without Tucker Kraft, even without that, you were the better team. It's like you got to dig in a little bit and try to find a little negative there of, okay, it is funny how it comes full circle. When the offense is struggling, fire Matt LaFleur, right? Now, you get the offense straightened out. When the special team struggles, it's fire Rich Bisaccia. Okay. Okay. When the rest of the special teams is playing pretty good, but the kicker struggles, it's fire Brandon McManus. Right. And now everything kind of comes together other than Haversick, who everybody was calling for. He goes out there and misses a couple kicks. Now it's back to, well, why ain't Rashan Gary got more snaps? Huh. Like, it's just wild, man. It's what can we enjoy one damn win this year? That's all I ask. Just one. Just one.
So that's exactly it. And just
no.
No, I don't know if you can, Clay. I don't think they're going to let you.
Wow. What were you going to say, maybe?
No. Sit your butt outside.
Reach us.
Yeah, so Chester says, I mean, with those sack and run stop numbers, it's hard to say that Gary doesn't represent really good value. It's why that's the other thing. Well, what is the rest of the NFL thing? His peers ranked him 80th best player in the entire league last year. Offense, defense, special teams.
His peers, not talking head fans, like
the guys who have to line up,
who've been in the trenches, lining up against them.
Yeah. So,
and I honestly, I look at Micah as a speed times power kind of guy. I look at Rashan as a power times speed kind of guy. It's just same thing, different way to get there. Rashan's just a little bit more, a little bit more meat on the bones. And to Jen right here, this I think Hafley was kind of getting at this point in his presser. She said it's hard to pass rush when teams aren't throwing the ball. That's exactly it. How often are they getting actual attempts? And Hafley was even saying half the time when he's out there, what are the options? How many times? Because in the past 3 weeks, how many times have they run a 3rd and 9, 3rd and 13, 3rd and 11? You're not getting those opportunities for like a long 5-step drop, deep passing routes, passing combinations. That's not happening. And if he does get a pass rush, okay, it's probably on a play action or something where he was, planning on doing a run stunt. You got to switch when it's not. And all right, now I'm going to rush him. How many opportunities is he actually getting to pass rush?
And all of those, he's fighting through holds that aren't getting flagged.
Oh yeah,
big part of it too. So. All right. So if you guys are watching this video back later, let us know in the comments what you think about Rashan Gary. Where would you rank him? Do you think he's overvalued, undervalued? Do you want him back in 2026? Maybe slap a tag on him like, okay, here's what I want him back at this price, at this cost per cap hit type thing. Let us know what you think in the comments. It's always cool getting in there and chatting up with you guys and gals after the show. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, and click that bell icon so you're notified when we go live here in the future. All right, that's going to do it for hour one. For those of you listening on the pod, we will see you on the other side for hour two, where we're going to talk a little Josh Jacobs update, a little injury report update, and dive into the Packers versus Vikings PFF preview. We'll see you over there.
For those of you listening on the pod,
welcome into hour two. Let's get into it, boys.